already jumped into some that we didn't see. So Dreamcatcher for map number 1. A really cool map because it uses kind of like diagonal symmetry here. And it just creates kind of a bit of a cooler aspect than we might usually see. So let's go into this and let's see what these players are going to bring us as we have to the top left-hand side of Dreamcatcher by VSG, the purple Terran player. Give it up for MMA. And he is going up against the blue Protoss player to the bottom right-hand side of the map. It is from Jin Air Green Wings. It is Creator. And of course he's MMA is representing Team Expert as well when it comes to teams and so on. How's everybody doing out in the chat today? What's up, Sayer, with the 20-month resub? Can we have some Wardy hearts in the chat, please? Thank you very much for the 20 months. Really do appreciate it. How you doing? Did I say? I feel like I said hello to you and how you doing. I know I said that. I'm not sure if I shout out the 20-month resub. But anyways, let's get into this. Dude, are you really from Newcastle? Yes, I am. I'm about as non-Geordie as they get, though. So, hello, what's up? From Newcastle. As you see the first probe coming across the map here. Again, fairly short rush distance on this rush-focused map. As we're going to be seeing this probe coming in towards the upper left-hand side to see what's going on, to see what is happening. So probe going to pop up here as he already is beginning to expand. And it looks as though MMA is going to be doing the same in the next couple of moments. Getting ready to throw down this expansion here in just a moment or two. As we do see this probe and this SCV having a little bit of a fight with each other, a little bit of a skirmish in these early stages. CC will just go down a little bit out of position there to just get it building and then delay it too long, because of course as a Terran player you can just lift it up and float it into location when you need it to. So it's not a massive deal to build it slightly out of position, and that's what we're seeing just right now. Alright, so probe coming down towards the bottom right as we're going to be seeing this command center on its way up in the natural, and from MMA as we're going to see this Reaper coming across towards the bottom right hand side here as well. So this Reaper comes down towards the lower right, going to be hopping up and just looking to see what is going on. And I'm just going to be seeing the Stargate play out of Creator to get us started. Again, the last time I saw Creator, I got to cast Creator, was during the WardiTV weekly season finals, and we had some really cool games. They really put up a fight against TY. There was Hero in that group as well, which actually was some cool PvP action. And as you do see, this Adept is going in towards this Reaper to try and shut it down, is obviously MMA. Just picking up some early information and now backing away, back up towards the top side. Another Adept just shading out here. As this Reaper going to hop back in and still looking for some more worker kills here, perhaps, with that Adept having shaded out. There's another one here, though, so it's going to be denied, and that's going to be pushed out onto the map once again. The Reaper still unable to really find any damage here in the early stages. Oracle is on the way up for Creator. There's a couple more gateways come on down as well at the front. Just going to see this Oracle continue to come on through, and this Warp Gate also coming up as well. So Warp Gate also coming in right now. As you're going to see that Adept does pick off the Reaper in these early stages. These Marines continue to set themselves up and looking to see what else is going on. Just going to look around the map a little bit. We've got this kind of big white pattern, which of course I imagine is meant to be a Dreamcatcher, right? We've got Demoniac Milk in the chat saying that the mini-map of this map looks pretty awesome, and it actually kind of does. I actually didn't think I was going to like this map when I first saw it being put into game and so on. But it actually was really, when I saw the picture of it, I was like, oh, this looks a bit weird. And oh no, the Oracle gets hit there by a Widow Mine. Slightly unfortunate, well positioned by MMA to pick up that kill already. But actually, in game, this map looks pretty awesome, and that's why you should never judge a map by its thumbnail. As you do see, Stimpack is on the way up here from MMA. 2 racks, a factory building a reactor ready to swap on over with this starport. As we are going to be seeing the third Nexus now coming up on the top side. So just going to be seeing a couple of assimilators on the way up on the natural expansion as well. As that Warp Gate about to finish, and really so far, a very standard game. Next Oracle comes in and trying to pick up some kills, gets a couple SCVs. This time doesn't go down to a Widow Mine, so that's already a bit better than the first Oracle, as a Twilight and a Forge will come into play. Just wonder how well Creator's going to do against these couple of Medivacs on the way out, because Stim is going to come up very quickly here for MMA, and as Stim comes out, he's going to be able to really start dealing a little bit of damage here. So interested to see how this is going to end up going, as we have yet another, this time it's just a Phoenix moving across the map. Interesting to see the Phoenix, just one of them in PvT. It's not something that really always has a use, it's not like it's going to get Overlords to pick off, but actually in this game, it is going to find itself a Scout, and I guess it's still going to be able to act as a bit of like a, you know, a detector, not a detector, but like a scouting unit on the map throughout. He's actually going to see those medevacs loading up and starting to move out here. So hey, there you go. I mean, Marines are actually going to have to unload from those medevacs to help just kind of push this away. And already just chipping away the medevacs, the lower they are, the more likely they are to get picked off a little bit later on. As you can see, the medevacs loading up, and this time will boost off to the right-hand side. The Phoenix doesn't seem to have quite caught that there. There's MMA coming across the map, and obviously MMA was always so well known for his really solid kind of drop play, being able to multitask so very well. So let's have a little bit of a look at how that goes right now. As you can see him just trying to boost on in, and well, Stalker's already here. That Stasis Ward is down on a bit of an interesting position, as we will see the unload into the main base now. The Marines will start to protect these medevacs. However, the Stalkers are here. No blink just yet, but it just means the medevacs are going to struggle to really stay alive and to escape this one. So he's just going to have to trade this out, as we are going to be seeing MMA taking a fight, and well, he loses one medevac, he gets a Phoenix or so and another couple bits and pieces, but in the end he does pull out of there, and he does well, he saves about half of his units, which is not bad because he did deal some damage. So definitely a decent startup for MMA, as we see extra Stalkers from Creator. He's adding on 3 extra gateways with, you know, +1 and Blink about to finish. Definitely maybe looking to get across the map and do a little bit of something with these initial Stalkers. Now we see the Robo facility coming down and you know, another Forge. So he's definitely not kind of throwing this all in. He's not like, okay, these Stalkers are going to win the game or else. He's just making sure that, you know, he's got to follow up, but there is definitely potential to move across, get some damage done, poke around, and just look for some opportunities here in general. Alright, so medevac coming back up towards the upper left. Some more Marines going to regather themselves towards this ramp. That is a 3rd CC coming on down here as well. So 3rd CC already coming on up. I just realized my microphone might be just a little bit quiet today, guys, because I had to turn it down last night when casting with Rifkin, so I'm just going to turn it back up to where it was, simply because that's the setting which I usually use. Hopefully all is good in general though, so... Medevac's on the way back down the left-hand side anyways, and it is MMA who's going to keep up with the aggression at the moment. Just going to keep this going for now. So he's all the way back down this left side. A couple of Marines out on the map, I mean, just the presence on the map from both players is actually quite astounding, as MMA is going to move out to take what is a looks like a fairly open third until you realize it's got this massive blockade kind of before it. So actually it's not that crazy. A rock tower too, I guess, will even help to choke this off more if you want to, and that's going to be kind of cool to see how that plays out over the course of the tournament. As players get more used to the maps, they realize they can do things like this, and generally becomes a lot better. As you can see, these medevacs somehow just got past here before that pylon went down. Now they're going to drop into this main base. Looks as though Creator had a little bit of an inkling of it. Maybe he did just catch it with the probe, but there's still a lot of units, and probes have to pull into fight, and that's never going to be pretty because the entire mineral line is going to disappear. As you're going to see, the Oracle is not going to be able to add much to this either. Stalker's going to have to try and kite away, but there's just not enough units right now, as MMA is dealing a lot of damage. A few more Zealots warping in as well. Stalker's still coming in from the right-hand side, and we are going to be seeing them able to get 1 medevac, but that will be all. But I mean, for 21 probes killed and having also traded out with Stalkers, this was pretty darn decent. Its Creator's hallucination here doesn't really pick up on too much. It looks as though MMA is just happy to move around the map. He's actually not cleaning up these pylons to the top side or so. Oh my god, is he going to see this warping? He is! Is he going to react in time? He is! And he's going to be able to grab himself both of these Zealots, or all 3 of these Zealots, and they are going to go down right away, and that pylon is going to be quick to follow. As Creator coming up here, he's not going to get there in time to truly defend this now. And we're just going to be seeing the Zealot, Stalkers, and Immortal really trying to make something happen as Creator starts up a 4th Nexus. Meanwhile, MMA still has 1 drop of units on the map. That means he can still jump back in towards the main, and it's still a threat that Creator has to try and deal with here. And so he is just sat with Stalkers and Zealots ready to defend. A Phoenix already here, and this may just be a dead medevac. MMA turns away at the last moment, but really at the last moment because that medevac's still getting low, even just to the Phoenix, as now he moves through the center of the map, the rest of his units. And again, these kind of blockades making a bit of an interest in the middle of the map, even though it looks very open. It isn't as open as it really seems, and already both players, you know, for their 3rd base, took a bit of a different set of bases here, so that's kind of interesting, kind of... Well, no, I guess it isn't the different bases, is it? It's just the way the map symmetry works is confusing me. Apologies. As we do see this Nexus getting picked off, and we are just going to be seeing the Zealots and Stalkers just going to be pushed away still. A few more bio units coming across as Widowmine's going to unload, and oh my god, well, unload and burrow ready to load up and go into the main base, because right now one High Templar in position gets a good feedback, but that's going to be all. I mean, there's some really important structures you can pick off here. I mean, we're talking about a Robo, a Forge. You might just go for the Nexus though, MMA, and that is going to be what he targets here initially as the Stalkers start to come into the main. Here come these High Templar starting to unload. Storm is just seconds away. I mean, even a feedback or two might not be bad on some of these Medivacs. Is MMA now going to start losing some of those? Creator doesn't quite find the connection on the Medivacs, which are full of units, but MMA definitely takes some losses there. Oh no, the High Templar fly over a Widow Mine in the edge of the base, and that is a disaster for Creator, losing the War Prism with High Templar inside, as he does at least delay the 4th base just slightly with this one single Zealot. Very nicely done in that regard, as we're going to be seeing these units coming out up the right hand side through the center and getting ready to go again as Medivacs load up once more. Going to be jumping in towards the main base in the next few moments. And a lot of these units right now from Creator continue to come across towards the upper left-hand side as Medivac's going to start to unload and starting to pick their way through this pylon. I mean, just units continue to be here as Creator does get across the map. He'll force a lift up on this base. And now it comes down to, does MMA have enough to defend? Well, he's starting to get Liberators out. With Liberators coming through, you have to generally expect that, yes, he probably does have enough here to be able to, defend this and to hold on. But how much can actually Creator get done before these Liberators do enough? You're going to see some Storms coming down. The first Storm's honestly pretty good. It's just those Liberators are really causing some issues. And EMP lands on an Archon morphing in. The Liberators are still alive. Now the Stalkers will blink forwards to get rid of them. Another Storm. You know, Creator's still going to have some units left over here, so this is going okay as the Ghost popping out, still EMPing across the map. These bio units, though, are cleaning up everything in this main base, moving down the low ground. I mean, Templar Archives is obviously going to be a big pick off the rest of these gateways as well. Dark Shrines are currently building, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get any DTs up. They would be great in a base trade. We just might not see them actually becoming available here. As you're going to see right now, Creator's going to have to try and jump around with this Archon to try and deal with these Liberators, but it's just not enough. And again, the extra Liberators coming out may very well just make the difference here right now. As those Marines continue to work their way through this natural expansion, that's going to be going down as well. And I think in the end, it's just not going to be enough right for Creator. He's going to take too much damage. He's not going to deal enough. And MMA is just going to get back to his mind. Okay, 40 SCVs lost and 23 probes. But MMA is up in work as he's up a huge amount of army supply. And of course, he's still picking away at a whole bunch of stuff in this natural expansion. GG's. And a pretty fun game there on Dreamcatcher to get us started in day number 2 of this series. We are going to be starting down towards the bottom left-hand side of System Shock, where we do have our red Protoss player. It's Creator. His opponent to the top left-hand side is the Purple Terran. He is 1-0 up. It is MMA. And remember, even if MMA wins this map number 2, we still play the 3rd map. We still play map number 3. This is the way the tournament works. We play all of the maps in the group stage, no matter the scoreline. It's a round-robin group, so every map point does count to your score. So this map's kind of cool. It's kind of different. We've got these couple of watchtowers up this left-hand side, and that helps to kind of, I suppose, give vision kind of as you move around this shorter rush distance around here. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of a little bit weird. It's kind of neat. It's a little bit of a rushy map, but the watchtowers obviously help out with that in a little way. So it's yeah, it's kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. And the other thing is that this kind of blockade here, by the way, as well, is a air blocker. So this is like a no-fly zone. So you cannot fly through this blocker. You have to go around it. So even though this looks really close, you can put a ground unit on this watchtower and get some vision, but you can't actually do too much else beyond that. You can't fly up this direction. It really is just to give you some added vision, because there is a fairly short rush distance down and around this side still. So it's interesting. To make up for that somewhat, I guess, there is this sort of set of rocks, which makes this a very kind of strong choke point initially. Or you can also kind of pull down further, get up this ramp, and then push in from this direction to attack in less of a choke. So it's actually very well done, I think. I think it's really unique in a way, in terms of just how it can, be rushed, but then also not be rushed at the same time. Like, it encourages you to be aggressive, but then it also has a good set of ways to defend, and you can play around it a lot as well, so it's pretty cool. So it's pretty interesting. I'm enjoying it. so far from initial looks, as we're going to be seeing Real Creator. He's not messing around too much though. He's putting a proxy pylon down. Now his Stargate's already coming down in the main, so this pylon's looking as though maybe just a gateway, maybe just a warping point. We'll see very soon, and it is actually a... What? What? A Stargate? How very interesting. We're going to see how this goes in a couple of moments. We're going to see this first probe gets picked off here as this Adept comes over and will start to work its way through that Reaper. I'm kind of a little bit worried for Creator. I'm really hoping he doesn't try and just fly straight up here, because he will just hit himself into, you know, he'll kind of just crash into the wall. But this second proxied Stargate is so interesting. It's going to be a lot of oracles from him, it seems. As we are going to be seeing, this Reaper is still just looking for more info. The thing is, so far it looks very standard, right? He's seen the Stargate. What will be weird is just not seeing a follow-up, perhaps. Oracle will use its initial energy here. As you're going to see, this Oracle is going to start moving up, and it's going to crash. Yes, there is a bit of an air blocker there, Creator. He's figured that out pretty quick, though, so he's going to pull it around the side. It's not the biggest of differences. It just means it can't come right up here immediately, and MMA is going to realize this as well right now. No, MMA also needs to realize this. Air blocker, MMA. Oh my god. Well, Oracle is going to move away from the main base as MMA is now realizing that this is a bit of an air blocker as well. So he's actually going to pull back up here and realizing that his attack may not come in time. So he's just going to defend this as Oracle comes back around this side. And MMA is indeed back in his main base and unloading. Obviously, these guys were given the maps a little bit ahead of time, guys, but it is very difficult to, you know, learn 16 entire maps. So there is going to be little bits and pieces such as the air blocker here, which maybe the players don't immediately kind of pick up on, don't immediately realize. There's going to be seen Void Ray production is continuing right now, and I'm not sure MMA really knows about it. He doesn't see the Stargate up to this top side. He's going to be seeing the two Oracles just gathering up here from Creator. And we're just going to be seeing him with, well, now the Adept's kind of coming around this side as well. MMA doesn't really have much defense. I mean, he's got a Viking, that will help a lot, but double Void Ray? He just doesn't see this coming at all, as he is going to keep this Widow Mine alive. He just has no idea, MMA, right? I mean, he's going to take this Watchtower now and kind of hold the vision here so you can get a little bit of info on the natural. You see this gas being taken, but, I mean, just double Void Ray is still coming up. I mean, what do you do? I actually don't know what you do. I mean, he's going to be getting extra Marines going shortly, but he's in a bit of a supply block at the moment. That's going to really hurt him here. A third CC2, I mean, everything right now is really not designed for MMA to be able to actually survive this. As we are going to see the Viking here, able to push back that Oracle, and Widowmine, obviously in location, is looking to be a little bit of an annoyance. It's just going to be seen. Oh my god, MMA finds it. He sees the second Stargate. Now he knows. Well, he actually already had a turret coming up at the front, and now he builds a turret in the main, but is it too late? Those voids are already collecting together. Well, we're going to be seeing them all starting to move in towards the frontier. Bunker coming up as well. I mean, that first Widowmine might be able to do enough. The Viking will actually buy a few seconds. Medivacs are on the way up. I wonder if it's going to be better now to build more Vikings, and that is what he's going to start going for. Ah, man, look how exposed his Stimpak and so on is, though, as well, and that's going to hurt. He targets down one of these Oracles. Void Ray is going to be starting to get hit on by one of these missile turrets, so he's going to start pushing this away. Widowmine will get a kill, and if Void Ray does go down here, MMA is holding on for the moment, as we are going to be seeing this. Next Widowmine gets another Void Ray kill too, and Creator is making some mistakes as he will pick off this Widowmine now, but it's already done its job very nicely, I have to say, as two Vikings pop out, and they are going to start really dishing out the damage to those Void Rays here, and of course they can outrange Void Rays, and they can even kite them to some extent, so that's going fantastic so far, as we're going to be seeing MMA is for now continuing to defend. And well, behind us we're seeing a transition out of Creator, more gateways on the way up. A Twilight Council is even expanding once more, so this aggression is transitioning. But is it going to be able to transition into something that can survive against Stim, combat shields, and bio units, especially as the Viking count grows, because those Void Rays really are not going to be a significant feature once there's enough Vikings to get rid of them. Marines are going to stim here. They're going to see those Voids just cannot take this fight, and now they're going to back away. There's a couple of ledges they can use to maybe try and dodge the Marines. They're going to try and re-engage into the Vikings, but the Vikings just start to kite as well. And we are going to be seeing, Widowmine goes off too. Void Ray gets taken down, and this Adept gets shut down as well. Such a unique game here on System Shock. Really not something, just a build we haven't really seen. Creator playing with this kind of proxy Stargate for the Void Rays. Really, really cool. And we are going to be taking this Stargate taking the Stargate down. A couple of people asking why don't they use this pathway. This is actually a blocker here, so you cannot walk up this area, but you can put a unit here, and it's in range to take the watchtower. So you can actually put a unit safely here, I guess apart from maybe, I don't know if a siege tank can fire across, but it means you can take the watchtower and hold that position. It gives you a bit of scout info on the natural. It's interesting. I'm not sure how valuable it actually is overall though, because it only gives you like information up to here, so it isn't kind of like super crazy what you get for info. It's interesting. Again, this map comes in on the new category of maps here from the TLMC, so it's kind of, the idea of testing something new, something we haven't seen in a map before. And that's what we're starting to do. It is definitely giving us that sort of idea of something a little bit different, isn't it? As you're going to see MMA attacking up this ramp, and it looks as though this is the issue, right? Blink isn't quite ready, although Stalkers aren't having the most terrible of times. They get rid of the Liberators at least. There's just these bio units, which are just going to cause so much issue. A few probes trying to come into tank. Some extra Stalkers trying to come in too. Again, if they had Blink, this could be a very different story with their ability to actually blink away and just maintain their numbers a lot better. But this time it's just going to be Stalkers continue to drop GG. And MMA is going to take game 2. And he's going to take this greater matchup. Again, despite it being a 2-0, we still play the final map just because it is a map contest tournament. The format is designed around having all the maps played. And that's what we're going to be doing here today. Playing every single map in each of these group stage series. So every single one of these series that's lined up today, it's going to be 3 maps, which means we got 18 maps in total for you guys with some of the greatest players. I mean, you see an MMA and Creator right now, but both these players will be playing against Sue and Euthermal as well later in the day, as we have an entire round-robin group with those guys. So it's going to be very excited to see what happens now on game 3. This is Karasan Rift by Solstice, and someone who's been actually submitting maps since TLMC number 8 and is a first-time finalist. I think one of the big stories of this Team Liquid map contest is that there's a lot of first-time finalists. There's a lot of map makers that are kind of coming out of the woodworks. They started making maps a couple of contests ago or so and started entering, and now they're starting to get to that point where their maps are getting to the finals. Because there's a lot of players who are first-time finalists. We just saw System Shock by Zweck, and that is a map that was also first-time, or a player, a map maker who's in the finals for the first time. And we'll have some others we'll talk about later on through the day as well as their maps come up. And again, we didn't get to see Karasan Rift yesterday. This comes in the macro section of the map, so it's large. It's designed to be easy to take 3-4 bases to have longer games on. And you can definitely see how, as this Reaper comes across, we get to see a bit of the architecture in the center of the map. Actually very choky for such a large map. And as he hops up in towards the main base, there's a little bit of a Reaper pathway there, and we get to look at the main base a little bit, which is fairly straight up and standard. Not too much dead airspace down the south side. Natural is pretty normal as well, has this ramp leading up to it, but the whole point is the third base comes pretty easily as well with a choke point where, basically if you position your army here, you defend your natural with choke points, and you also can easily move in to defend the third base choke point as well. So easy to take 3, even a 4th base comes very easily, and it definitely can allow you for the longer games. It's maps like Dust Towers and Proxima Station that were from the macro section of the TLMC in days past, and those are the maps that kind of inspire this section of the map pool. So again, cool to see Karasan Rift. Interestingly enough, yesterday we actually saw a lot of players vetoing the super large maps and the macro focus maps. Last time in the TLMC map contest tournament, I actually had a lot of trouble getting players to play the rush maps and the new maps, and I designed the map pools, or the choices of maps initially around players not picking those a lot, and everyone just kept vetoing the macro maps, so it was kind of a little bit strange and a little bit weird. As we do see this Reaper coming down to the south side into the main, and the Stalker popping up, just going to be fighting this Reaper. So Reaper is going to be taken down here in just a moment or so. So you see the Hellion though in the natural actually getting a kill. So a couple of workers going down, and this medevac with 4 Widow Mines inside coming down the left side. So looking to see what's going to happen here as we see Double Forge from Creator. Wow, I mean, when Creator was very good, Double Forge was definitely a thing that he really did kind of play to its, or use to its max. As obviously MMA with this Widow Mine drop though could get some damage done to slow things down. But if Creator can get away with this Double Forge, he's going to start taking quite a lead. And MMA, well, he's definitely played against Double Forges before. I mean, he played way back in the era of pulling the boys because Double Forge Colossus was the way to go for Protoss. You can see that first Wood of Mine dropping. And we'll just kill one probe as now extra Wood of Mine is going to drop into the main base. They all unload in the same position. You need to be careful they don't all go off at the same time. As you can see two of them unburrowing and jumping back into the medevac. This Wood of Mine is still alive on the low ground. It's going to unload and the medevac might be able to make a hot pickup. And it will be evacuation out of there. And now we see RoboBase scouted as well. So actually MMA gets a lot of information from this. Double Forge scouted, RoboBase scouted. In fact, there isn't much more he could see. So MMA has a great read on this, as he has a fast third CC coming up. And that's going to be finishing in the near future. Alright, so a quick pause here. And we're going to be going in just a couple of moments. Again, create a pause on this. And hopefully just sorting out a quick issue or so. What's up in the chat, everybody? As it's quite cool, again, this map. Like, very choky, though, and that does concern me a little bit. Like, where do you ever fight on this map? Like, it's just so full of choke points. You know, where's the open area where you can take an engagement? It really feels as though one of those maps which is going to be it really feels as though it's one of those maps which is going to be very I don't know, like Liberator friendly, I guess. You know, how do you ever engage Liberators when every single pathway is just a massive choke? I'm not too sure. As the medevac comes back in towards the main base with those Widow Mines trying for just a little bit more damage here. Going to be unloading once again. Well, Probe's actually going to take a little bit of damage, and oh wow, well, actually pretty good last minute splits here. There's a little bit of a slow reaction initially by Creator. What's the issue is that MMA actually gets out with those Widow Mines yet again, so you can still keep these alive. So those medevacs still staying alive, the Widow Mines able to kind of come in and be used once more. As now we see two tanks coming across the map. Well, all I can say about this is that it's a pretty freaking creative way to go about things. The two tanks in a medevac. I don't actually know what you do with this. Is he going to siege them on the high ground? What exactly is the plan? Maybe he knocks down... No, that's not a rock tower. That's just rocks. I have no idea. Where's it queued for? The natural? Okay, I am extremely intrigued to see what happens with this. As we are going to be seeing, as the tanks start to come in, this Widow Mine drop's going to be moving as well. So let's have a look at the Widow Mine drop, which actually just gets turned away pretty quickly. As now we're going to have those tanks. It's actually just siege tank harass. You know what's so funny? You guys remember MMA versus Dongwei-gu? That epic best of 7 finals? Perhaps one of the best finals of all time. MMA was the player who did siege tank drop back in those days. He was like he like picked up his tanks and I was like, yeah, I remember I was just like, what is he doing? And he drops the tanks on top of the infestors, and I was like, everyone was like, what? What? No, he's dropping tanks. MMA was such a legend, man. What an absolute hero. God, that was actually such a sick series. You know, that's one of those series in StarCraft 2 that no matter how many patches there are, no matter how much the game changes, you can always come back in as this medevac gets picked off. You can always go back to that TVZ, and you can always watch that series and just straight up appreciate the brilliance of the players and how amazing a series it was. It's I feel like MMA has a lot of series like that. MMA versus Gumiho in the GSTL finals on Antigua Shipyard, also a classic that you can always go back to and just watch and appreciate, like one of the best mech versus bio games of all time. As we're just going to be seeing this observer just sat out the front, a factory off to the side, and well, again, both players just building up for now, which obviously Creator's kind of happy about because he's getting 2-2 on the way. MMA just going into a ton of Vikings, 4 Vikings at a time already, as we set up into this. Just going to be seeing this observer start over to the right-hand side, and well, another Nexus from Creator, and again, definitely seeing the macro aspect of this map really coming into play here today. As that observer does move on forwards and just sits overhead. Observer gets picked off here as a couple of those tanks will go down. I'm just going to be seeing the Units starting to move across the map once again here, so MMA is going to start getting aggressive. These Stalkers coming up through the center. I'm just going to see a little bit of damage done. The Vikings already taking a little bit of a shot there. Stalkers will blink back. How many Colossi are there? Only 2, and there's actually a good amount of Vikings to deal with that, like 11 Vikings. Oh my god. I'll be watching... What? MMA versus Creator, and here come the boys. Is it 2012? Is it 2013? It sort of feels like it, as you see the first force fields coming down. I mean, that's the issue. There's actually quite a lot of sentries, and this is a very choked up area, remember. Some Liberators on the way now as well, as MMA is about to finish +1 armor. And well, here we go. The next set of force fields should be dropping down. The SCVs are a little bit stuck, but the Vikings are going to do their job. The Colossus go down very quickly. Once those Colossus are down, the Vikings can land to join the fight on the ground, and MMA is pushing through. Upgrade advantage, no problem. I'm just going to have the boys to tank for me, and then it's not an issue at all. We're going to be seeing these Marauders chunking away at these units. The Vikings helping out a lot as well. I mean, these Liberators now arrive, and there's just not that many Stalkers left over to actually fight this, and now the Immortals are dropping also. And MMA's big pull of the boys here is going to do the job. Very, very nicely done. MMA takes it in a very Heart of the Swarm-esque series.